The Christian Emergency Preparedness Network is an organization at this moment that consists of Dave Pike and I on a grassroots movement to open the eyes of the country, starting right here in Central Illinois, to the need to be prepared for emergencies. Every time you turn around, you see an emergency somewhere coming down the pike, and we recognize that people just are not prepared. You hear stories that the average person has less than a week's worth of food in-house, and that's a disaster waiting to happen. So our goal is to preach the word of preparedness, and we're doing it through the church. We think the church body is the largest organization as a whole throughout the country, so it made the most sense to try to get it into the church system. And that's what we're doing, the Christian Emergency Preparedness Network. Our goal is to find people within every church in America who says, you know what, I see what they're talking about, and I see it being a needed program, and I'm willing to champion it in my church. So we're putting all the documentation and various information packets together that anybody in the country could download right off the computer and have available in their church this Sunday. And the goal is to network churches, because there's strength in numbers and there's the economy of scale. If you've got 4 or 5 people in your church who really see and are concerned, doesn't it make sense that they kind of work together? And that's a major point of what we're trying to do, is the networking aspect of being prepared. When I think of preparing, I'm talking about, first and foremost, a deep pantry. When things are bad, you rely, there's the rule of threes. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, 3 days to anarchy. So when you understand when things come tumbling down, it's water, food, shelter, and a host of other categories that are very important as well. But the main ones are the main ones. And when things go south in an emergency, let's say an ice storm whips right through Central Illinois, starting from the Iowa border, going through Indianapolis, catching Chicago in the process, you know what? Power lines are down everywhere, and there's nobody going to be able to come and take care of this massive, massive mess. So if everybody actually had a little water on hand, they had food on hand, they'd be in a position as a whole that lives would be saved. The need is to network and prepare. So we're providing all the information that you need to go to our website, download these PDF files, print this stuff out, make the packet up with the display for your church, go into your church, talk to your pastor and say, you see what's going on, I trust. So anyway, the goal is to get this network growing, within your church, within your neighbor's church, and so on and so forth, and networking together and growing a base of very well prepared citizens of this country. I'd like to reiterate, we're not really trying to reinvent the wheel here. Most everything we're talking about is available if you know where to go get it. So what we're trying to do is just kind of build a basic framework with great emphasis on networking. That's kind of what separates us from others, is we really want to see you seek out and find family and friends and perhaps church family who really understand that this message of networking is a force multiplier, to put it in military terms. You will be much stronger if you incorporate your friends into this prepping mentality. And then again, we are the Christian Emergency Preparedness Network. We fall back to the Bible. And there's 2 chapters and verses I'd like to reiterate. Proverbs 22:3. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. Take that to heart today. So many people are just blind to what's going on. And in reality, nothing could be more clear to me and to many of my friends who have eyes to see. And then I'll finish with 1 Timothy 5:8. But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.